Hello everyone, welcome to another planty video. It is me, Desiree. Long time no see. I haven't put up a video here in a little over 2 weeks, but I am focusing all of my video making energy to my other channel this month because I'm putting up a video every day. But I've missed my planty friends and I have a video I want to do today. It's going to be top 5, bottom 5 philodendron. The top 5 came together very quickly, and if you're a regular viewer here, you'll probably guess most of them, if not a couple, because I talk about them all the time. But the bottom 5, I was kind of surprised with myself with the couple I put on the bottom. One of them came to mind immediately because it's one that I almost kind of hope will die one day because I just don't like it, and I can't find anybody to give it to. Let me know your top 5, bottom 5 philodendron, and if you agree with any of my picks. If I put your favorite plant on the bottom, no hard feelings, no hard feelings. I still like you, I just don't like the plant. So we're gonna go back and forth between the top and the bottom, starting with the bottom. So one of my bottom 5 philodendron, this is the one immediately came to mind, the Philodendron bipennifolium. I've mentioned this one many times here on this channel. All of them are in videos where I'm like, why do I still have this? The sun comes out now that I started. That's great. Anyway, I bought this a long time ago. I don't love it. It doesn't do anything for me. It never grows. I don't really have it in the best lighting either, but other plants on the shelf where this lives do fine. This one just doesn't do anything for me. The leaves don't get any bigger. The leaves that come out are super small, but I mean, it's probably some of the care I'm not giving to it either. I don't really have this in a lot of light, like I said. It's just like, it's growing out of the shelf this way. It just doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't do anything for me. If this plant disappeared, I would not even notice it was gone. I did see a mature one of these here locally sometime last year, and my heart was racing and I wanted it so bad. And then when I left, I didn't buy it. And the whole drive home, my stomach hurt, where I was like, oh, I should have just got it. Oh, I'm gonna die without that plant. And then I remembered, you already have one. Learn to love the one you have, and you know what? I haven't yet. It's on the bottom. It's a bottom 5 for me. It just doesn't do anything for me. But if I had a bigger, more mature one, I'm sure I would love it more. Okay, a top 5er here. This is one I kind of shocked myself with this choice because I don't know. I thought I would have picked something else over this. It was a toss-up between this and the Micans, which I have right back here. But ultimately, I don't know, this one just brings me more joy. And it's the Philodendron brantianum. I just love this. I mean, look at it. It's so wacky and wild and cool. I think Ashley Anita mentioned in a video that this plant, I think she said it wasn't worth the money or something because of how it grows. But I love the way that it grows. I love how crazy this is. I like all these long, crazy vines. I love these tiny little leaves that pop up. I just think it looks so cool. I mean, and the leaves are really beautiful just to look at anyway. Look at that. I think this is a beauty. As far as the care goes, I did kill one of these before, but I have found with this one, just don't let it dry all the way out and it'll do just fine for you. At least that's what's been working for me. Don't let it dry out. So I check this one on a regular basis to make sure it's not completely dry. So I just don't let this one dry all the way out in between waterings, and it does fine, but I love it. I love the way that this grows. I think it's so wacky and cool and just wild. And it looks awesome on the shelf that it's on because it just takes up so much room and makes everything else look so much cooler just by being next to it. I love it so much. The sun's gonna go in and out. What are you gonna do? Okay, this next one, this is another one I mostly just want to get out of the way because it's one I mention all the time in videos where I'm like, I don't really like this one. Why did I buy this? And it's the Philodendron Pariso Verde. And it's this one right here. I was holding this up in the mirror a minute ago when I was carrying it in here and I was like, I regret buying this with every fiber in my being. I really, truly do. It's just too crazy. And I know that the brantianum that I showed you is all crazy, but I love it. But there's something about this one. I mean, look at it. Look how I'm holding it. It looks crazy. I just don't love it. I mean, these 4 leaves here are growing straight up, which is great. If the other leaves can grow straight up with this, I'll like it a lot more. I just don't like how much room it takes up, how much the leaves curve to face the window, which is what this one is doing. I don't know what this one's doing. I mean, the leaves look like they're all reaching for a different light source. They're all going in different directions. The leaves are very pretty. They've got this really nice camo kind of print on them with the different green colors. All these leaves are going up, which is cool, I guess. This one here is dying off. I'm just gonna kind of let it fall off on its own. But I don't like this. And every time I go to water it, I'm like, why did I buy this thing? I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me, you know? I mean, I guess I do like this cluster though. I wish all the leaves were growing straight up like that because it would take up less room. And I think it would make me dislike it a lot less. All right, a top 5, another one, I'm sure everyone's gonna see this coming, is the Philodendron bobsea. This is one of my favorite plants ever. I have it right over here. I'm gonna show you this one. I did a whole video on this plant where I talked about the care and how I take care of it and how I've kept it this whole time. It's such a cool plant. I love the leaf shape. It's just awesome. I've cut this one twice already where I took some propagation, so I'm gonna show you how those are going. I know it's a top 5 video, but this one does not look good. Okay, these are the cuttings I took of that plant. I did root them for a long time before I planted it in here. This leaf is not doing well. The little tiny leaves are doing okay, I guess, and then this one here is doing okay. I do try to keep tabs on this one and make sure I'm watering it when it needs to be watered, but I don't know. It's doing okay, but I still love it. It's still one of my top 5 favorite plants. And then I have some other cuttings I took here. I think I took these cuttings in a video, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the cuttings here are doing good. They're living in water, so far so good here. One of them did die. I did throw it out, but the rest of them are doing well. This was my first like super exotic plant I ever bought. It was a plant I bought online. I bought it from Cactus Club, who I still love and purchase from to this day. And I love it. It's grown very well. I've had it for a long time. I don't know how I've kept it alive because I had no idea what I was doing at the time. Not that I know anything now, but you know what I mean. But I love this plant a lot. Definitely in the top 5. It went without saying. I almost didn't put it in the top 5 just because it's a plant that's always going to be one of my top plants, but I had to do it. Had to do it. Okay, a bottom 5, where is she? Right here. This is one I was kind of surprised I put in the bottom 5, but when you see it, you might understand. It's the Philodendron Painted Lady. I know this plant is not looking good. That leaf wasn't even connected. This leaf either. Okay, this plant is not looking good. Let's take that one off too. I was really excited when I saw this because I have never seen this plant in real life before. That looks a little better. I was so excited about it. I don't know. This plant, it looks really cool when it's watered and it's nice and perky, but it stays like wilted all the time. I feel like maybe I overwatered it. I don't know. Because it was super wilted and it was dry as a bone, so I watered it. It stayed wet for what felt like forever. It would never perk back up. It stayed wilted. I let it dry all the way out before I watered it again, and this is how it kind of stays. I don't know if this is just how it's supposed to look, but every time I see it, I'm just like, it doesn't look good. And anytime I talk about a plant that doesn't look good in real life, it always looks good in a video. Like this looks okay. I think if I was someone watching this, I'd be like, what are you talking about? That plant looks great, but it's wilted, it's really thin, it never perks back up. I don't know, maybe it has root rot. Maybe I like kept it wet too long. I have no idea. It's in a plastic pot and it's a kind of a small pot. So I don't know, it just kind of, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't do anything for me. And honestly, I keep forgetting about it all the time. This is another one of those plants that I'm like, if anyone in my life likes plants as much as I do, and they want this, I would give it to them in a second because it just doesn't do anything for me. And I always forget that I have it. So Painted Lady, definitely in the bottom 5, unfortunately, because I was really excited when I bought that plant. Okay, a top 5, the Jungle Boogie. Had to mention Philodendron Jungle Boogie. This is one that I have that I got for $5 at the old grocery store. Was it $5 or $10? Either way, it was a really good deal, and I couldn't leave it because I have another one I'll show you here, which I've mentioned a lot. And of course I was like, well, I love it so much I had to buy another one. This one's growing in a more normal pattern, I guess. I feel like eventually it's gonna kind of just crawl over the pot a little bit. But this one again has that really nice leaf shape, kind of similar to the bobsea. And honestly, when this one is really mature, I feel like they look exactly the same. And I really like that. I don't have a ton of really mature leaves on mine. I mean, they're really big, but they don't have that super deep cut in the leaves. But I love it. And let me show you the other one I have, of course. Where is it? The desk is surrounded by plants. Here it is. This is another one I have mentioned many, many times. It's growing crazy. It's completely hanging over the pot and it's just super like twisted and I don't know. It's doing its own thing and I really love it. I love the way this looks hanging off of the shelf that I have it on right here. And this one absolutely had to be in the top 5. I'm sure some of you might have guessed this one because look at it. How could this beauty not be a top 5 plant? It's probably one of my top 5 plants, period, not just top 5 philodendron. Love it so much. I'm hoping the other one ends up growing all crazy like this one too because it's just so fun. It's such a fun plant. It does need some water though. Okay, what are we on? A bottom 5. Okay. The next 2 on the bottom 5, I feel like might be, I don't know. I don't want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Polarizing? Divisive maybe? I don't know. They're plants I wasn't expecting to see on the bottom 5, but if I'm being honest with myself, they're bottom 5 material. Okay, first one, the Philodendron White Princess. Okay, this was a gift. It was a gift from Wild Interiors, who I love. I love Wild Interiors plants. I bought my Thai constellation from them and I still love it. They did send this to me and I was super excited about it at the time, but over the period of time that I've had this, it hasn't really done anything for me. Again, this is very similar to the Painted Lady where I just kind of forget about it all the time. I don't know if maybe it's just where I have it. I don't know. It just doesn't do a lot for me. Maybe it's the way that it's growing. Maybe it's because this pot that it's in. I mean, I put it in this pot here. So maybe if I repot it, give it some love, trim off these ugly pieces, move it to a new area, maybe I'll start loving it more. Maybe that's something I'll do this year because I really want to rearrange my plants so badly. I want to rearrange them and feel like they're fresh and new rather than wanting to buy one all the time. But anyway, maybe that's what I'll do with this one this year because right now it just doesn't do a lot for me. I have seen this one out and about for really good prices, so that's really cool if you've been on the hunt for one. I've seen them at Walmart. One of you guys said you even saw one at Walmart and you had to snatch it up, which what a good find for Walmart, right? But I don't know. It just doesn't do a lot for me and honestly I always forget about it. So definitely on the bottom 5, which kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? Okay, top 5. Another top 5 that I'm sure some of you are gonna guess is the Philodendron Ring of Fire. And this one has a new leaf coming out. I'm so excited to show you. This is one of the best plants that's ever existed. I just absolutely adore this plant so much. I always remember when I bought it, I don't remember how much it was, but I think it was very expensive for me at the time for a plant. I wish I could remember the price. Was it over $100? I don't even remember. But I love it so much. I mean, look at it. It's amazing. It has these super deep cuts in the leaves here. It's got some beautiful variegation. Oh, let me see without bending the leaves here. I don't know if I can show you this one properly. Maybe if I turn it around. It has a new leaf growing here and the leaves when they're growing in, they're so pretty. And then as the leaf kind of matures and, you know, settles in and hardens off, it does turn like a regular kind of green color, but it keeps a lot of really beautiful variegation on the leaves. I'm just absolutely crazy about this plant. I love it with all my little heart. And I did buy another one. I featured it in a video. I think it was like a plant haul and emergency repot video. I'll put the little thumbnail here on the screen so you could see what the plant looks like. I wasn't sure if it was a ring of fire, but I was very sure it was a ring of fire. But a lot of you guys told me in the comments that that's what it was. Found them at Walmart, 2 of them for $10 each. I smushed them together in that pot. I do regret not taking the old soil off of those plants though, because it had fungus gnats and I didn't take all the old soil off, and I really wish I did because there's freaking fungus gnats all over the house now. And I know it's from that plant because I just know it. Maybe I'll do that this year too. I'll fix one of my biggest mistakes. But anyway, Ring of Fire, definitely one of my favorite philodendron. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Love it. Okay. We're down to the last of the bottom 5. This is the one here that I think some people might say like, well, what the heck? That's a good plant. Why is it on the bottom? I don't know what it is about this plant. It's just on the bottom 5. And it's the Philodendron Summer Glory. I bought 2 of these because I was so excited to see this. I found it at Lowe's. I'm pretty sure I found both of them at Lowe's. I was so excited to see it. I'd never seen this kind of philodendron before. I was like, oh my God, I have to get 2 of them. And you know what? This plant doesn't do anything for me. I think I'm gonna combine both of them into one pot so I could just have one plant I don't like that much instead of 2. And it's weird because it's pretty. It's a pretty plant. It's got this nice big heart-shaped leaf. It has a beautiful, just solid green with the nice veining there. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine, but it just doesn't do anything for me. I do regret buying it. And I don't know, like there are a lot of philodendrons that look very similar to this that just have these big leaves. And honestly, this plant made me not buy the Philodendron gloriosum. I saw the gloriosum at Lowe's and it looked like this. It was so beautiful and I was so excited because I had been on the hunt for it since last year. And then when I finally like gave up, I was like, I'm not gonna go crazy looking for it. If I find it, I find it. And when I found it, I was excited. I picked one out, I carried it around, and then I put it back. I didn't buy it because I thought of this plant. The gloriosum looks very similar to the McDowell, which I love, and it looks very similar to this, and I felt like I don't need that many with the exact same leaves, especially when I don't love this one already, and I put it back. So this one, I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. Definitely bottom 5 material. Again, this is a plant too. If I knew someone in real life that might want this, I would give it to them because it just doesn't do much for me, you know? I don't know. This is the one I was the most like, ugh, who's gonna get mad that it's on the bottom 5, you know? But okay, we've come to the end. We're at the last plant. The last plant in the top 5 is one I'm actually not going to bring in here because it's so big, and it's the Philodendron McDowell, or as my boyfriend likes to refer to it, McDougal. I don't know why, so I always want to call it McDougal now instead of McDowell. But this plant, I have in my living room right now. I absolutely love it. The leaves are so big. And this plant is a cross between the gloriosum and the pastazanum philodendrons. So when I saw the gloriosum, I only saw McDowell, and I was like, I don't need 2 of the exact same plant. There are a lot of plants I buy duplicates of because I love them, but that one is not really one because it's already so big. It's large and in charge. It takes up a lot of space. I don't need another plant like that. But I absolutely love this one. I love the big giant leaves that it gets. It's growing another leaf right now that's unfurling, kind of weird. I'm hoping it's gonna be okay. But I absolutely adore this plant. It's definitely one of my top 5 favorite plants ever, not just top 5 philodendron. I just love it. I love the big leaves. I love how they look. Yes, it gets spider mites, but spider mites are really easy to kill off of your plants if you catch them before it destroys the whole thing and takes over your house. Spider mites aren't the death of your plants as long as you keep them in check and you check your plants regularly. If you don't check your plants regularly, the spider mites will take over the whole plant and you will just have to throw it away. It's crazy. But they're not the end of the world, so don't be afraid of spider mites if you get them every now and then. But I love the plant. I don't even care if it gets spider mites. If it got spider mites once a month, I would still clean it. I love it so much. I loved it so much that I bought a second one, and the second one did not do well at all. It ended up dying until I literally had it living in water as this tiny little thing. And I ended up trading it with one of you guys, so hopefully it's still doing well. I don't know how it's doing, but definitely top 5 material and definitely top plant. I just love it so much. But that is it. Those are my top 5, bottom 5 philodendron. Let me know if you agree with me, and if you disagree, that's cool. I would love to know what you're thinking. What are your top 5, bottom 5? Let me know. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss my next one, and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye. Hopefully it doesn't take me another 2 weeks to make one though. Goodbye. One quick honorable mention, the Philodendron squamiferum. This plant is really cool, but I always forget about it because it doesn't really need anything. It's sitting right here at the edge of this table on a little stool. It's just sitting there big, large, and in charge, living its life. I never really have to do anything other than water it, and I clean the leaves every now and then. But but I always forget about it, but in a good way. It's a big, large, and in charge plant that doesn't need a lot from you. Definitely top 10 material, but just got edged out by a couple others, but definitely an honorable mention. So I had to mention it here because I still love it.